I regret not making my marriage work, and now my ex-husband is happily remarried. I'm so lost. When I was in my early 30s, I divorced my husband. We didn't have any major issues. Our relationship was just challenged after having kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I expected him to do more of the housework and childcare when he worked full-time. He did help me when I asked, but I started to ask more of him and I burnt him out. I used to have him wrapped around my finger, and I used that as an advantage to get what I want. He eventually got tired of it. I started threatening to divorce him, and he said he knew the baby was just stressing us out and he will like to make it work. But when I was 30, I thought I was a great catch because I'm still very beautiful for my age. I lost my mom bod, so I thought I could do better than him. So I left him. I got our house in the divorce, and we shared joint custody of our son. Fast forward, now I'm 41 and still single, and my ex-husband is 41 and got remarried to a 31-year-old woman who is incredibly beautiful. They had their daughter 3 years ago. He bought a new house. My son loves going to his dad's to spend time with his other family. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me jealous. She has it all. She took my husband. She took my kid. She took my life that was once all mine. And all I have is the house we created our family in. And now I live in an empty house. I'm 41. I gained 20 pounds. I've got wrinkles. And I'm alone and miserable. I've had short-term relationships after the divorce, but they never worked out. Men just don't want an old woman like me with a child, and I've noticed that men with kids just have a better time dating with kids than we do, and I hate it. I'm not happy anymore. I wish I could go back when I was younger and I would have stopped being so childish. Now I have such a miserable life. I work a useless job now, and I have to share custody of my son, where he has to go spend time at my ex-husband's house with his new and improved wife. I feel like a dumpster standing right next to her. My therapist said I should do something that'll make me happy, like a makeover, since I'm reminiscing about how I looked so much and comparing myself to his new beautiful young wife. So I decided to get a new hairstyle, and that didn't help. No matter what I do, I look like a middle-aged woman. This is probably the most honest I've ever been in a while. I just feel like crap. I wish I was a better wife over 10 years ago so I wouldn't be in this position. I know a lot of people on Reddit preach being alone and single, but honestly, this not an ideal life or a life I would wish on my worst enemy.
My girlfriend slept with friends with benefits while we were on a break. 33M. My girlfriend 25F slept with someone whilst we were on a break. Relationship was very up and down and agreed to have some space. Space lasted for about 14 days and then we reconciled. We were sat on the sofa chilling out when she received a DM off a man saying, "Where have you gone? Just hump and dump." We got into it and she lied for a while before admitting she slept with this man whilst we were on a break. This man is someone we have argued about throughout the relationship and a previous friends with benefits of hers. He is much more well endowed than me. She had a picture on her phone at the start of our relationship and always bothered me as it made me insecure, but she reassured me I was the best blah blah blah. I can't get over that she apparently was in love with me, but be intimate with someone else within a 2-week period, and more so how she rushed back to someone bigger than me. She claims it was a mistake and wasn't thinking straight, but I just can't get over it. It's been a month, and it's still at the forefront of my mind. Am I overreacting? Should this be something that I just get over?
Am I the a-hole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmates GFA lesson? New to Reddit, please bear with me. So I 21. Guy live with my childhood best friend 22, also a guy, and have done for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23. Lady, and she honestly seems absolutely great except for one thing. She seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she's never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm usually just chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked every time prior to the last one. I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggles and says but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m. Begins to ask if I want coffee and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order. Accused me of deliberately exposing myself and pointed out that I'd threatened to do it before. I literally just said okay, but what if I had no covers and you saw everything before? They're now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off. And I'm kinda seeing how it came off that way. Am I the a-hole for doing this?